Hey guys, Mercury is moving into Scorpio, where the giver of news, information, and ideas and commercial enterprise is going into the place where he tends to spill the secrets and tell the truth. And with Mars there meeting him and in opposition to Jupiter, we're looking at some big stories coming through the news cycle where truth is being told and investigated. Although some of this news that needs to be spilled may not actually show up fully until January, and I'll be talking to you about why. In the meantime, this Mercury transit through Scorpio happens once a year, and this is going to influence you based on your sun, moon, or rising sign in a particular house in your chart. And we'll talk about what that Mars is in Scorpio meeting with Mercury might mean for you during the time of this transit, which is October the 22nd through to November the 10th. And I'm recording in Palm Springs the day of the transit ingress, which is October 22nd, because I'm on a girlfriend's birthday, so I'm trying to catch up. And so you're getting this information on the day of the recording. So it's something breaking in the news cycle that I don't know about, and then you're only going to hear about it later. I mean, I can't, whatever. This is a real-time broadcast. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses, and I love the fixed stars and asteroids, and we'll be talking a little bit about a couple of those asteroids today, including the asteroid America. So a small short promotion. I'm selling my 2024 never released to the public on YouTube privately sold all signs videos. They're each 75 minutes, comes with a PDF handbook, and those go to you delivered on November the 25th in the pre-order sale for 35% off, and that's on right now. If you want to get that bundle, you can give gifts to your family and friends for Christmas of this access to these 12 videos, and of course you can buy the bundle of 12 videos, each 75 minutes long, because you get to listen for your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. So assuming those all three are different, some of you, they will not be. Okay, so let's get started. And if you're wondering if you hear a fan blowing, I am in Palm Springs. It is very hot for a girlfriend's 60th birthday. And this room that I work in, because it's the only office space in the house, is very badly air conditioned. So yes, someone asked me why I don't have AC. The house has AC, but this room, separate from the other women here, is not very well air conditioned. So there you go. So number one, let's talk about what Mercury is good at. He's good at getting things discovered through the agency of news, right? He's a news energy. He's like the messenger of the gods. He has many other functions. He's also the ruler of markets and commerce, right? Mercantile, Mercury, mercantile. But in Scorpio, that's where secrets are. That's where darker things are. That's what's under the rock. And you go, oh, there's slimy things when I pick up the rock. Scorpio is those things that are hidden under that rock that need to be looked at. When Mercury enters into Scorpio, he tends to be a kind of a revealer of things that are hidden. Scorpionic energy is about seeking truth. And you also have the idea that Mars is home in his kingdom in dignity. I've already done a Mars and Scorpio video. I'm going to be doing a lot of content about the 6-week transit. Go listen to all my other content. But hello. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Now, Mars is like advocate, warrior, hero, champion, but he's also spy, intel, all the big, agencies. I shouldn't say them here, but you know who I'm talking about, intelligence agencies, otherwise I'll get flagged. And Mars and Scorpio is connected to that. I have clients with Mars and Scorpio, if they're not spies, then they're forensic scientists or they're police detectives, really, I swear. I mean, not just Mars and Scorpio, but maybe Mars and Scorpio in the first house. And so you really want to say here, what is Mars doing in his own kingdom, supported by Mercury? He's revealing truth of some sort. Now, even though I'm doing your sign, so you can listen for what this means for you, and I'll be focused a lot on the Mercury opposite Jupiter and conjunct Mars that's happening next weekend, which is like, what is the date today? I'm recording on the 22nd, add 7 days. It's really coming in Saturday and Sunday a week from now. And then we're going to focus on that for you. If you want to bear with a little mundane astrology for a moment, I want to talk about the drums of war and this particular transit. There's a lot of things I could talk about, but this is definitely one of them. We're undergoing a very rare sky right now. It's at Pluto square the nodes of fate, squaring the south node in Libra and the north node in Aries. And I've talked about this in other videos and in my playlist before. This is nothing new, but I want to reiterate that it's happening now to display as North Node in Aries, amplification of soldiers and war, aggression, energetics, and the South Node in Libra And that can be a dissolving of agreements, right? Libra is about agreements. Now that can dissolve your personal agreements with your like marriage partner, but it can dissolve agreements between nations, alliances, and peace treaties. And we're seeing that anyway with the BRICS nations allying and China chumming up with Russia, and now the United States trying to set a force to that we need Ukraine and Israel as our, to be with us because they're strategic for us. Is that true? I don't know. Israel was strategic when the Russian Cold War was on, right? I mean, because it had, Mossad and stuff, and there was intel sharing with the United States. Is it truly a strategic point at this juncture when Israel was already making deals with Saudi Arabia and beginning to connect to the Sunni Muslim world in an alliance way? Not really. Not really. So really, there's other things going on. But let's talk about war. Because I'm talking about astrology. I'm not talking about politics. This is not about politics. It's about astrology. When Pluto is squaring the North Node in Aries in the past and the South Node in Libra in the past, we have always seen significant war, bar none, all of the time. Just because you may not believe me, I'm going to give you the dates. In 1037. Common Era, right? There was the famous Battle of Tamarron, power grabs, and King Harold was overthrown, and the throne of England was overthrown. So power grabs, wars, the Battle of Tamarron was a major war. I'm not going to give you all the details of the war. You'll just have to trust me. In 1279, China had the famous Battle of Yemen, where the Mongol invasion of China took down the Song dynasty. That was the end of that dynasty, and that was the success of the land grabs and the war of the invaders, which are the Mongols. They don't have to call them hordes, they're just Mongols, right? And in 1521, there was the Italian War that lasted 4 years, from 1521 to 1526. These dates so far, 1037, 1279, 1521, were the years in which the North Node and Pluto in Capricorn were precisely square, and we're in that now. We've been feeling that ever since August, September, October, November. It's in play. Now, in 1764, we also saw yet again the North Node square Pluto, and we had the famous Battle of Buxor, Bengal. I just got my notes, the Bengal Empire versus the British India Company in a big fight for the Bengali territory in India, and also Ben Franklin in the Pamphlet Wars. Now that's an interesting one. Benjamin Franklin in the Pamphlet Wars is very little known, a part of American history. I was doing my research. I want to share that with you because it's about fake news. Pluto squaring Aries, Pluto square Libra. What in the news cycle can be a war of news, a war of news? I'm going to show you a little information about that because, of course, I'm not an historian. I pulled this up today and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Okay, I was just doing more of the Pluto history, and this baby came up for me. Let's see if you guys can see it, because now I'm not sure of what I'm trying to share. Yep, here it is. So I'm not going to. This is from the National Endowment for the Humanities. It's government, Benjamin Franklin and the Pamphlet Wars. So basically what happened, before people could easily post their opinions on Twitter, they traded barbs and fiery accusations via hastily typeset and cheaply printed pamphlets, oftentimes inciting fear and fueling outrage. As with some media today, there was no rules imposing fact verification or source attribution, leading to the spread of what we might label fake news. And back when printing presses ruled the day, these eruptions were called the Pamphlet Wars. So again, this is set for the date, okay? The date where this Pamphlet Wars was excessively hot, really intensely taking off in 1764. So what is the modern day equivalent of the Pamphlet Wars? Twitter, X, Facebook, independent media versus mainstream media, everyone with their competing viewpoints. Were the babies beheaded? Apparently not. That story is not true. But once the rumor is out there, unless someone hears the correction notice, they're not going to get the news that was false. Was there a series of plunder and rape by the Hamas? Well, according to, I think the LA Times and New York Times retracted that. There was no evidence of that. So unfortunately, the Pamphlet Wars is ongoing, as we see pamphlet wars about everything. Everything from people's positions on medical procedures for pandemics, people's positions for the Ukraine-Russia conflict, people's positions, pamphlet wars about now the emerging crisis in the Middle East. Second of all, there is this disturbing bit of detail. And now I want you to just take this with, however you want. I'm an astrologer. I'm bringing it up because of Scorpio. So before I show this to you, okay, teaser, and spoiler alert, it's going to be a little surprising, but maybe not. I want you to remember that when Mercury goes into Scorpio and joins Mars there, and Asteroid America is there as well, by the way, there may be a truth-telling, exposure, news story. And Uranus is there making around November 12th, when Uranus and Mars are in opposition, a bit of shock and frickin' awe around revelations around things that can do with prior hygiene and health matters to do with the pandemic. It can be about that based on the sky with a square to Hygeia in Aquarius, but it also can be about things that are ongoing regarding this conflict in the Middle East. So I'm about to show you something else. I'm hoping this is going to open up. I'm having some tech issues lately. I'm going to clear that out because maybe you're seeing something. Yes, you are. So this is an interesting article. I'm going to credit one of my favorite astrologers and a colleague of mine, Candace Marie, for this find. And I wasn't tracking this, but here is where I got this from. I mean, she mentioned it, and then I followed up with it. And this is a true story. Congress buys up war stocks ahead of Hamas attack in Israel. Starting in August, Congress was buying up war stocks ahead of a known conflict and war in the Middle East. You could argue, of course, that they were doing that because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and that is potentially true. But there was a surge of oil, gas by the Democrats, and cybersecurity buys by the Democrats and by the Republicans, Northrop Grumman and other war stocks before the actual war broke out. So what does that suggest to you? It suggests intel. It just says people knew that this war was going to break out. That would be very upsetting to a lot of people if that was true and more information was disclosed about that. Therefore, I'm wondering, was this war, I don't know if anyone knows about April Gillespie and how that she was an ambassador to China, and she warned Congress, or she warned the president at the time that in World War II, that there was intel chatter that it could be an attack on Pearl Harbor. And because the United States citizens apparently did not want to go into any kind of European war, it was a very isolationist nation at the time, there's a suggestion in the historical record that intel was ignored in order for there to be an attack on Pearl Harbor, in order for there then to be an excuse to go to war. That is not something I've just made up. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. The congressional records have opened up the data about the April Gillespie story, but that was hidden from the record for a long, long time. So I'm just suggesting perhaps that there was a lot of chatter or intel that there was going to be an attack, and even Israel apparently got it, and a lot of people are wondering why Israel, who heard the chatter, didn't take it seriously. There's a lot of conspiracy around 9/11 around the same thing, that people knew this was imminent but ignored it for some other agenda. I'm just telling you. I'm not saying it's my belief, but I'm bringing it into the astrology. This is not political conspiracy theory. This is astrology. It's because Mars and Scorpio is that intel, is the spy, is James Bond. Mercury is a revealer of truth. They're going to oppose Jupiter later this week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, whatever, the 28th, 29th, and 30th of October. And that is going to be the spilling of truth, Jupiter retrograde, from things from the past in Taurus, can do with markets, currencies, prosperity, coinage, and gain. Alrighty, I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing, but I'm going to see if I can read a bit of this article because I'm scrolling. Excuse me, guys, it's ragweed blowing in the wind in Palm Springs. I'm really desperately allergic to ragweed, and there's no way for me to get out of it right now. Okay. Yeah, so it's just telling you who bought what, but it's also the fact that some of these buys were happening in the summer, well ahead of this attack. So you make thank you, Candace Marie of Beyond the Veil Tarot Astrology, one of my favorite astrologers. I did a collab video with her about the October 28th eclipse, and my new video just came out as well. Go check those out on my channel, and she's a brilliant astrologer, and she's an amazing person. I love her energy. Okay, so I'm going to move away from the conspiracy stuff. I probably lost half of you, but I want you to see what I see. I want you to know that having Mars in Scorpio, getting ready to die in the heart of the sun, yes, die in the heart of the sun on November 17th, is a huge deal, and Mercury co-present. This is going to be the Scorpio piece of everyone's real estate that's going to have huge changes in the 2 years that follows this, death in the heart of the sun. But because Scorpio has many meanings, like in the US Sibley chart, it's the 12th house of secret deals, backroom deals, and negotiations, there can be a lot of dirt or slime under that rock for USA, especially because the Asteroid America is there right now, that's going to be hitting the fan. And it's things like people buying stocks ahead of a war, somehow knowing there would be a war. Insider trading is not uncommon thing. My ex-husband worked for the World Bank and United Nations. I can't remember who he was with at the time. And he was on an inside meter with Pfizer's head honchos, including the at the time president of Pfizer. And they revealed to him, insider trading, they're going to release a new product called Viagra. Go buy your stock now. We didn't, we should have, right? And we would have been millionaires by now. So that kind of thing happens all of the time. You know, the little people are the ones not on the inside edge. They don't get the info, they don't get the information ahead of time. And that's the everyday trader. But the big people in power know what's going to happen. And I'm telling you from personal experience, I could have been a multimillionaire with my husband if we'd bought 10,000 shares of Pfizer ahead of the Viagra announcement. So people bought stocks ahead of the war to do with war and energy, because now the oil stocks are going up, which they were going down. So people were shorting oil. Now, oil's surging because of the Middle Eastern conflict. Now, don't forget the pamphlet wars with Ben Franklin. We're in the era of the pamphlet wars that can happen when Pluto, the god of the underworld, power and control and top-down power structures, squares the north node in the sign of war and the south node in the sign of alliances, allegiances, agreements, treaties, and nations that cooperate, etc. Okay. So that's the beginning of the mundane astrology. Let's look at your sign now. Your sign is about you. You are not a pamphlet war. You are not a conspiracy. You're not a spy unless you are. And if you are one of my spies who listen to my channel, welcome to my channel. Hit the like button and subscribe. I also want to shout out to my regulars. I don't have my list with me. I'm traveling, but Purple Table Tarot, Linda Calder, Michael Thrash, Stephen the Jupiterian, Jupiter 8, Ceres LaBelle, and who am I going to forget? Because I'm trying to remember people I have forgotten to call out. Grounded Extracts, Crystalline Alchemist, Discerning Light, A One Wise Lady, One Rare Bird, Misbehaving, LA Teller, and all. Thanks for being a part of the channel and being a part of my crew who support me by being in my live premieres with me and engaging in chat. And if you don't know what I do, guys, I put out about a video every second day, if not more, and I do live chats for most of them where I'm in the chat while we watch the replay together, and people are asking me astrology questions and I'm answering them. I'm also getting to know you. So that's one of the features about my channel. I also check all my comments and read every one of them and like, heart, and or comment back. So I don't have a staff, I'm just me, okay? I might need to change in the future. Okay, we're gonna do the all signs. Let's get rolling. We're gonna start with Aries and get a pen and paper handy and we'll get rolling. Okay, so we're going to roll over to the chart. I'm going to show you the sky and we're going to talk about your sign in this very potent and powerful transit. And don't forget, because of Mars's death in the heart of the sun, and Mars is invisible right now, okay, October, November, December, we do not see Mars. You know, I'm going to be putting out a Mars Kazemi, Mars in the Heart of the Sun video with a lot of dive. It'll probably be 2 hours long for each, and it's going to be for each sign. So please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, because that content is where Mars resets your life for 2 whole years in your Scorpio part of your sky. And I'm going to explain how that works and why it works. And I'll talk about the history of that event as well. So you really want to know about that because you'll know where things are changing in the couple of years that follow the Kazemi on November 17th. So when Mars is invisible, okay, he's doing things hidden in a hidden way. I just want to point that out. And so I'm not sure what I'm talking about this week about breaking news about truth, that it will actually show up this week. It may have to wait till January as he becomes visible in Capricorn. Here you have Mars, right? Here you have Mercury. Now Mercury gets into this part of the sky on the 22nd of October. And as he trundles forward, you can see that by October 27th, he's approaching Mars. And on the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, he'll be conjuncting Mars, but he'll also be opposite Jupiter. And Jupiter is a god of truth, knowledge, wisdom, good things. And Jupiter definitely is always about truth. He's your kind of, truth-seeking, heat-seeking missile in many ways. He is retrograde. So truth can be exposed to do with things from your past individually or the collective. Now, I'm going to also talk about the fact when Mars and Jupiter are opposite, and I've included this Mars-Jupiter opposition in my week ahead video that comes out on Monday. That's also very dynamic and positive energy. It's one of the few oppositions that lends itself to positive outcomes, where you can have some incredible daring do and risk-taking behaviors that can lead to success. So there is that part of the opposition between those two planets that can work out on your behalf as well. But I'm just going to go through this week with Mercury's story. You can see that the asteroid America is here. I'm going to advance the chart, possibly losing my alignment to Aries, but that's okay. I just want to show you something. and then we'll do all signs. As we move forward, I want you to see what Mercury's up to, please. He's here. He looks like this guy here, the little purple ant with the antennas, and he's going forward. And eventually you're going to see when the god of news is opposite Uranus, that's a bit of a shock and awe, conjunct the asteroid America, conjunct Ceres, the goddess of the harvest, the goddess of grain, the goddess of things that are nutritiously growing. However, she also represents a sickle or a scythe. We do have an eclipse on October 28th. It involves a last Taurus eclipse, hybrid eclipse at 5 degrees of Taurus. That is also conjunct Joe Biden's moon, which can represent your body in ancient astrology in the house of sickness. There's a strong possibility that Joe Biden may experience some critical health challenge between October 28th and 6 months onward, if not sooner. But I'm a little concerned with the scythe or the sickle on asteroid America, news, Mars, accident, heart attack, homicide, suicide, sun, leader. Now, these are abundance and abundantia. That's a whole other story. It's in there for another video. Just ignore them, but it does play a role as well. So there's just concern here about a head of state being maybe passing away as a result of this sky around November the 4th. And if that's possible, it may not even be American. Maybe America is breaking the news, or it's the opponent of America. And technically backroom deals and negotiations, but also hospitals is the 8th house, is the 12th house of the US Sibley chart. So therefore, shocking breaking news that a head of state connected to America is in the hospital in the first week of November would not at all surprise me. Not at all. So there's more mundane astrology. But I want to say for each of us, you're not an American, this doesn't matter. You know, the asteroid America conjunct Mercury and the sickle is not the thing. You can also just say around November 4th, give or take a few days, you may get some exciting news. It doesn't have to be shocking, coming through your sky in the Taurus Scorpio axis. And that's what we're going to focus on today, is that Taurus and Scorpio axis of your chart for the transit of Mercury through Scorpio, October 22nd through to November 10th. Okay, well, let's get rolling on that. Don't forget, if you are new to my channel and haven't tried me out, give me a shot and hit that subscription button and notification bell. It really does help me grow. And you know, you can always unsubscribe, but I think given that I'm putting out up to 25 videos a month, if you're an astrology geek, you're probably going to enjoy it. And all my content, almost all my content, is all sign content. So let's go ahead and move this back a bit, because I kind of really wanted to focus a little bit more on both this moment here of Mercury and Mars co-joined opposite Jupiter in your chart, but with abundance, abundantia, and ops for opportunity here in our individual lives. It can be a sweet spot, not always about calamity and truth and shock and awe. So let's get started with the movement of the sky forward. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. This is being released on Sunday the 22nd ahead of Patreon gets it ahead of time, except this one time. But if you want to check out my Patreon community, you might enjoy it. You'll get early access, ad-free content, and you know, it's for $5 a month, so you get to watch this without ads. Okay, so here we have a story for you, Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign of Mercury moving through your 8th house, which he does on the yearly. This time, however, he's accompanied by Mars in his every 2-year transit through Scorpio, an invisible Mars at that. And there's a lot going on for you in your house of chunky money. That's your tax money, your investment money, inheritance money, money you share with a business partner or a spouse, insurance payouts, royalty income, that kind of thing. Now, I do think this can be some really exciting developments here for you, both on around October 28th to 30th and later on November 4th with a little bolt of surprise, where you're trying to actually, or will be experiencing, some sort of bold determination and super confident energy around your finances, especially with Jupiter in the 2nd house until the end of May next year. He is retrograding until the end of December, but there's a gist here. And I want to just put it this way: invisible Mars, retrograde Jupiter, both imply perhaps that where you're going to see the outpicturing of financial goodness from what's happening in the sky, right, around October 27th to 30th, and then also around November 4th, give or take a few days, will be in the Capricorn part of your sky, which is your career and reputation, as Mars will become visible at that juncture. And also we'll end up seeing, well, I'm not going into that right now. So look for almost like a kind of seed planting energy here. You may concoct new ideas for business strategies. You may get some new information for your tax structures. I'll be consulting my accountant as an Aries sun and moon. They can dramatically increase your resources and your treasure chest of earnings and savings as well, but not maybe totally understood by you as true until after January 11th, as we have a visible Mars in Capricorn emerging in your 10th house of career and reputation. So I'm sort of suggesting that. Now, secrets are spilled in the 8th house, and Mars is in the 8th house with Mercury. So family system secrets, lover secrets, marriage secrets, business partnership secrets are coming out for you this week. Things you didn't know, it doesn't mean they're bad. You might need to know. Someone just didn't tell you something, and now you're like grateful you know it, and it helps put everything into perspective for you. So that's a possibility too. It doesn't mean it's a toxic secret either. It can be a very positive thing to know something and something new coming to light. And you may have a dramatic change of direction with Mars in the 8th house regarding how you handle joint resources with your spouse or partner, but they may be having that change of direction, and maybe their excitement, their exhilaration around November 4th as a new money strategy or money content or money chunk of money comes to your partner. So, and if you're in any kind of conflict about separating out from a divorce, this can be big turning points in that story, indicated by the Mercury news stories that you're going to get from, I don't know, lawyers or discovery or forensics of your partner's accounts. And you may be surprised, but you may also be emboldened, okay? So keep that in mind, because Jupiter is not necessarily a negative thing in this condition. All right, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. You have this experience every year of Mercury moving through your 7th house, and every 2 years, there's Mars as well. Deeply invisible Mars, and retrograde Jupiter are in an opposition, and this axis is alive and well for you. What's going on here, Taurus, is that maybe something's going on October 27th to 30th and later November 4th with that opposition to Uranus. It's about some exciting and exhilarating understanding, Mercury, revealing of something that's very deeply needed to know, that's true, about a love partnership, a business partnership, or a legal matter, this contractual, and legal agreements are very much the 7th house. So you may have some 7th house big shifts here coming through the sky. There's a possibility with Abundantia and Ops here as well, and the sun, that a male figure could be coming in to be a business partner or a powerful leader figure to partner with you in business, and that can really support you, particularly in property, home, and real estate, as the sun rules that part of your chart. But on the other hand, this could be big, exciting developments with your significant other. I'm a little concerned sometimes, though, because with the sun as a ruler of the 4th house and Mars as the exaltation lord of the 9th, there's also a suggestion for some of you of a change of residence and maybe a change of country based on this sky that's happening now. I'm going to just move my fan. Give me a minute. This is so hot here in this little room that I'm recording in, guys. There's no better place to record, though, so just give me a sec, because I explained in the beginning there's no AC filter, doesn't come through this roof for some reason in this particular office of this Palm Springs house. Okay, I say, like, you're carrying Jupiter luck. You are lucky. You have four-leaf clovers in your vase. You have horseshoes up your butt, etc. So you're lucky, protected, and safe under Jupiter's energy here. And a lot of this energetic support is here to the end of May, and blesses you no matter what goes on in the house of your significant other. So also sometimes Mars is there conflictual, angry, and gnarly at you, or your business partner is, or your clients are, and you're just having to deal with that. But it's that Mercury transit we're focused on, saying, what is this information or news or disclosure that's coming from somebody else, 27th to the 30th, and maybe November 4th, with a lot of jolt to it. And maybe it's going to be influencing your choice of where you wish to live, for example, or property, land dealing, and real estate dealings, especially involving loans, mortgages, and other such matters. Mercury, sun, moon, and rising. Mercury's every year transit through Scorpio is this time accompanied by a rarer event, which is Mars being there as well. And this is in your 6th house And this week, you're going to feel a lot of sixth house stories. And it's going to be, 27th to 30th of October, again, November 4th, with a little shock and awe as Mercury will oppose Uranus. And, in your sky, your sixth house is a work house, and you could really be focused on a change of direction in your work, a change of strategy. You may be stealthy, though. Mars is invisible, and you're making some backroom stealthy plans to change the way you do your work. Sometimes this is also someone being fired from the workplace, or you quitting a job even. But if you do, you might be just making the plans to do that, and you may not execute them until Mars's visibility in Capricorn in your eighth house of chunky money in the month of January. I do want to say that because abundance and opportunity are here with the solar light of a Scorpio sun, there's going to be a lunation there as well this month. But stay tuned for the videos on that. You're really resetting something here. You're really starting a new beginning in the work and health part of your sky. And Mercury could give you the news, information, or understanding needed for that to be successful, to bring thrival, and to bring abundance to your life. And, sometimes sixth house matters can involve pets and rental agreements and tenancies. And those things are also under big change energy. I still feel like things that are happening this week for everyone with an invisible Mars and a retrograde Jupiter are coming through now. Seeds are planted for things that show up in January. Jupiter in the 12th house is really good at helping you get wise around ways to undo your self-undoings, your addictions, your bad habits, and substance abuse if that's a problem. But on the other hand, Jupiter here is really good for prosperity generated from foreign shores and revenue. I have my progressed sun here in Gemini, so I'm enjoying that. The sun can be about your career. And so as Jupiter goes direct at the end of December and Mars becomes visible, look for some real showing up in the visible revenue from foreign countries, foreigners, and foreign lands. Mercury does rule your house of home. Juno, the goddess of rents and contract agreements, is there. There can be some changing of the agreements regarding rental conditions and property conditions in your home showing up this week on the 27th to 30th of October, followed by a little jolt of energy, maybe exhilaration on November 4th, maybe as you complete some plan that may shift an agreement or rental agreement in some fundamental way. And certainly there's always a possibility with Mars owning your house of mortgages, this may involve opportunities around purchases or sale of property showing up this week as well, and into November 4th. So Mercury, you're having a journey here. Mercury is journeying here in your, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Mercury is journeying through your house of children with Mars. This can be something so classic as the kid announces they're moving out of the house, or your kid moves off to university and they get the good news that they've got the school of their dreams or something, and they're going to be gone by January. But there's also Mars and Mercury in a house of romantic love, and there can be some combat or passion and conversation Mercury. So combative and passionate conversations with a love and sexual partnership is possible. And finally, if you're an entrepreneur, that is your entrepreneurial, babies that you birth there, your projects and creativity and entrepreneurship. And there's some excitement going on here as well. With Mercury transiting with Mars, again, changes in the air. We're going to be talking about that with the Kazemi video. With abundantia and opportunity in the house of entrepreneurship, children, and creativity, these are good signatures. But Mars being invisible and Jupiter retrograde suggests some outpicturing of the final outcomes more likely in January of 2024. And these planets are direct and visible. I would ask you to look at that Jupiter in your 11th house, and are you leaning on those allies, benefactors, friends, and big siblings, older siblings, to support you when you need the help you need? Because people do want to help you. Jupiter's retrograde, so allies and benefactors and friends who love you up from the past can be there to bring you some good support, especially after December 29th. And also, Jupiter up here is going to enhance your financial gain from your 10th house of career. That's amplified by the nodal transit. So this is a really great time for you in your career and your gains through the end of May next year, Cancer. And you're moving up to new levels of power with more powerful clients, audience, and marketplace folks showing up as well. So capitalize on that. But Mercury in your 5th house is sort of saying, there's some news coming through from a lover, from a child, or some entrepreneurial marketing strategy that you're concocting that you're going to really begin to take off in the new year. November the 4th, there's a surprise. It could come through a friend or a child, and you may be a bit shocked by it, but it's going to feel like it's a prosperous choice or decision or direction things are going, and it won't bother you at all. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So Leo, the sky is suggesting for you that you're having a Mercury transit in your 4th house. Happens down the yearly, but not very commonly with Mars. That's every 2 years. So Mars-Mercury combination is changes in the home or arguing in the home with news, all the news that's fit to print. Now, because he's a marketing and mercantile god, and you do have Saturn in the 8th house, for some of you Leos, there could be some changes regarding your home to do with real estate property, mortgages, buying and selling, and things that could be going on October the 27th to the 30th, and then again around November 4th are all about those proceeds processes. Someone could be leaving the home and there's sudden news that they're exiting Ceres and Mercury in this month ahead. You might be surprised. But you can also have some prosperity and surprises in your career and reputation that could ask you to move. Like you get a great new job, but there's no way that you can do that job from where you live, and you have to move into a new home. And that's definitely possible for a lot of Leos looking at home changes or renovation or construction in the home to create maybe a home office or some situation that allows you to do the work you need to do to have prosperity and success in your 10th house, Jupiter. Okay, Leo. Yeah, that's about it. I'm having a hot flash on steroids here. So look to January for some positive developments around visible success in your work that really will light you up, and possibly January will bring you an incredible new job opportunity connected to what's happening now in the last week of October and the first week of November. Thank you, Mercury, for bringing all the news that's fit to print into this story. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. I'm just trying to get in a direction where the fan feels good because it is so effing hot in here. And there's a jet plane going overhead. Okay, so Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. Mercury is your lord, and he is moving through your 3rd house, and he's in a sextile to you, which is great. But he's there with Mars. Change of neighborhood, change of connection to cousins and siblings, especially younger. Changes in your online platform and social media world. Changes in your relationship to neighbors, not just neighborhood, or opportunity for travel. Mars loves to travel, and Ops, the opportunity goddess, is there. I don't think you're going to have a trip necessarily taken now with Mars invisible, but you may be planning a trip. Jupiter retrograding in the house of foreign chores, Virgo, Mercury news, ideas, information, Mars traveling to, venturing. So there's things going on here for you. October 28th to November October 31st, and a little bit later, a nice little positive surprise, I believe, on November 4th or so, where you're having some exciting opportunities regarding travel, regarding book publishing, regarding things to do with your 3rd marriage, your 9th house, things to do maybe with judges and legal matters also playing out on your behalf. The fullness of it may not be available till Mars is visible and Jupiter's direct, and that's in January. But nonetheless, all these things are falling into place. The dominoes are lining up here. You could also look at the idea here that when Mars is visible, he does come into visibility in your 5th house, giving you the strong possibility of certain developments that have to do with enjoyment of life and really going for the gusto of life and what you really wish to do. Although leisure travel can be 5th house, and therefore, again, what is this travel you may be undertaking that may be coming through in the new year, but the elements and ingredients of it are showing up now. Mars can be conflict with a sibling, so be careful, or a cousin or extended family member, and Mercury is that hot conversation of secrets revealed from the sibling or the cousin or the neighbor. So yeah, some of you Virgos will have some spillage of some information that you didn't know about under that rock, and some of it may be upsetting you. You might want to cut out from a sibling, quit the sibling, or quit the cousin, or quit the neighbor because of the disclosure, especially if that neighbor or sibling or cousin is male and somebody who has a tendency to not like you or not want the best for you. Sun, ruler of the house of hidden enemies. You may be exiting from a neighbor relationship, cousin or sibling relationship, especially if there's a disclosure of some shenanigans around money. Okay, because Mars rules the house of shared resources. If a sibling was deking out on you around a financial situation, shared resources of some sort, or a marriage partner was, in this case, actually, derivatively, and you found out something, a financial secret, it could be the exit strategy for some significant relationship. Particularly, it can be love in this one too, especially if it's a third marriage. Okay? So there's a little shock there around number 4. Be ready for that. Not all of you, of course, Virgos will experience that. You need to know the condition of your own natal sky to make sense of astrology, okay? But this is the general principle that's at hand. Now, moving into the next narrative. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Don't forget to like my channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're listening to this at any point. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Well, in the sky, there's the experience this week coming into the Mercury transit through your second house, which happens on the yearly. And don't forget, in the beginning, I always tell you when this is happening, October 22nd to November 9th, that Mercury is going to fortify and strengthen you to know all of the things you need to do, understand, revealing what's true regarding your spending, regarding your savings, regarding the way resources come to you, regarding your paycheck and earnings. Now, Mercury with Mars is like stealthy, and so there could be some revelations here, some news coming through, or some truth being spoken of. But there's abundance and opportunity as well. But you may end up quitting a job, Mars in the second with a Ceres archetype, because of things that are being disclosed or discovered between the 27th and 30th of October, and then later on a little shocking disclosure on November 4th. On the other hand, you may also look at this with Jupiter in your 8th house in that opposition on the 27th to the 30th of some kind of bold, dynamic, and aggressive action you're taking, full of faith and optimism, to do with a risky investment, a risky stock purchase, a daring endeavor to create some chunky money, maybe with a business or love partner. And it could pay off with abundance there and ops there. But again, a lot of this is going to be, I think, somewhat invisible. Mars is not visible, Jupiter's retrograde. So I may be more like hatching great plans and ideas and less so about the execution of them until after the new year begins. And you will have the Mars heliacal rise in Capricorn. He'll become visible in January. And that really does support you to also succeed in legacy wealth matters. And I mean, yes, inheritances from your mom and dad's families coming down through the sky to you. All of you Libras are possibly going to gain from real estate, property investments, but also family wealth on steroids. That's true for you. Okay, starting in 2024, especially 2024 through to 2025, end of 25. I won't say all the reasons why, just trust me on that. I would say with Mercury in your second house with Mars, be careful of your speech. You can have a harsh and aggressive speech, but also with it being scorpionic, maybe a little bit, what is the word, not passive aggressive, but there's another word, like manipulative speech, so you could be the purveyor of speech that is sneaky speech, trying to deke out or trick somebody, especially a marriage type partner, into disclosing something that is going to, you want to know the truth and you trick them into telling you. So there's a little bit of that you can be very much the agent of as Mercury moves through Scorpio through to November the 9th. So just if you don't want to be that person, just be careful that you just lay it on the line honestly rather than trick your partner into some revelation. I'm saying partner because Mars rules your marriage house, okay? Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hey, it's your turn. You've got not only Mercury moving through the house of you, your Sun, Moon, or your rising sign, through October 22nd to November the 10th. You also have Mars here for the first time in 2 years. And this is a humdinger because Mars is going to die in the heart of the sun, has not done that. Death in the heart of the sun in Scorpio since 1991. This is going to really revolutionize your life, Scorpio. Well, stay tuned for my Mercury Kuzimi video and sign up and like my channel and subscribe so you don't miss that one. Coming out sometime in early November. And I want to encourage you here. You've got a sword and a pair of scissors in your hand, but discernment and discrimination around your decisions and actions is available to you. And because Mars is invisible in your house during this time that Mercury is transiting here, then you are also able to withhold. It's best to withhold action and decisions and think about them, Mercury. Plan and strategize, Mercury. Come up with the ideas, Mercury. Maybe for some exit plan. Ceres is here. And yet an exit plan in some situation in your life, maybe your career, your job, because the sun rules your 10th house. And you want to come up with a strategic exit plan for a particular career path that no longer serves you or you no longer wish to do. And you may actually make the exit starting in January into the new year. Mercury rules your 8th house of chunky money. And there's a possibility, especially with a trine to the Vestal flame, of some father figure monies coming your way. And yet, will you see that outcome? No, maybe not until later on, especially with Mars there suggesting the new year. But you may get information, news, or understanding of what financial assets you may have through a father type figure and what your legal rights are to it during this transit through to October the 9th, 10th. Scorpio, you can be so abundant here with that abundantia, ops, opportunity, Sun, Mars, Mercury combo. I mean, you have the abundance in your hands right now. The Cazimi reset will show more about things that are playing out, but I want you to know with the Mars rising in your third house, a lot of this will look like an ability to expand and be super successful in the online world, if that's a part of the way you operate, or with writing projects, or with travel as an opportune place for abundance. So you're going to find that this is just a seed planting vibe. October 27th to 30th, there will be a surprise around November 4th from Lord Mercury, and it may come from your spouse or your business partner. Jupiter's retrograding here, and your spouse is incubating golden eggs of opportunity, or your business partner or your clients. They're in incubation mode. They're retrograding through the past to get some chunks of money to come to them, or some abundance to come to them, or some prosperity to come to them. And it's possible that a lot of what you're seeing also about this abundantia is about your partner's abundance and how it will bring abundance to you in business or love partnerships. And you can share those resources in some way. So you're looking for prosperity through partnership maybe as well. All right, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Mercury is making his journey yearly through the sign of Scorpio. And this time he's accompanied by Mars, who's invisible and going to die in the heart of the sun. This is a very rare sky for us all. This is your 12th house of foreign shores and travels, foreign countries you may reside in, things to do with commerce and transactions for business and revenue for foreigners or foreign lands, and also your own self and doing addictions and bad habits, including psychological and soul work stuff. So there's a stellium here this month. You get an opportunity and abundance from abroad. You have an opportunity to move even, but not maybe until January, or travel extensively through this energy of Mars in Scorpio. But he is invisible. And Jupiter, by the way, who's opposing the whole thing, but bringing dynamic, boisterous confidence in the 6th house, is saying these also look like there could be opportunities to really bust through any kind of addiction, any kind of bad habit that's really not working for you. The sun is involved, so travel to foreign countries looks very much either in plan or action during this time through to Mercury could be the booking the trip, planning the trip, the idea for the trip, and Mars is going to support that. And if there's a foreign trip you wish to make and you're planning it between 22nd of October and November 9th, wonderful, like absolutely freaking wonderful. Look for a lot more prosperity coming to you in January, connected to something to do, perhaps with the work you're doing in the world or other means of abundance coming through. A lot of what you're doing now is planting some seeds for that abundance, but it can actually be connected to, again, the word foreigners, foreign shores, and foreign lands. And a lot of this looks like a work and money kind of narrative right now. I know some of you are retired, I get that. Mercury just is about spilling news. He's in the house of bed pleasures, and Mars is very, stealthy spy work energy. But there is a trine to the Vestal flame in the house of secrets. So I don't think there's any infidelity stories going on here necessarily, but there can be some sexual secrets, bed pleasure type secrets divulged or revealed during this transit of Mercury through Scorpio, so through to November the 9th. Especially with Mars as a ruler of sexuality and romance in your chart, again, there can be some sort of deep disclosure that you're making or your partner is making if you're in an existing romance about their sexual preferences, their sexuality, or their sexual past. Look to, December 27th, 28th, 29th, till December 30th onward, when Jupiter is direct, for some real momentum and better health and work situations for you. That's a time to look forward to, but things are being worked out now, right? Because Mars and Mercury are going to oppose Jupiter the 27th to the 30th of October, and the goodness will really start to unfurl in January. It's very much a bounty of goodness, surprising positive information, news, and strategies emerging through to November 9th, about a potential new work direction or opportunity. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, Mercury every year moves to Scorpio. Here we have him again, October 22 to about November 10th. Mercury is going to be accompanied by a rare event, Mars transiting, also dying in the heart of the sun, opposing Jupiter retrograde in your fifth house. It's a 5-11 axis story. This is about cutting friends away, cutting out friends, friends cutting away from you, social groups and belonging, exit strategies. However, because it's a house of benefactors, friends who are allies, elder sibling type folk who want to support you like a patron, well, this is positive. Abundance, abundantia, opportunity, the solar figure, Mars, action, decisions, Mercury, news and information. Now, Ceres America can mean cutting away from America. So some of you may also be like leaving America for some other opportunity in Venus in the ninth house, a foreign shore. But look for financial opportunities or career opportunities or abundance opportunities coming through those elder siblings, friends as allies and benefactors. For some of you as well, the sun up here, ruler of the eighth house of inheritance, money shared with an elder sibling to do with inheritance can be coming up, or a friend wants to bequeath you some money, and you're going to find out about it during this, 27th of October to October 30th, and a little bit of a jolt of more good news or surprises, November 4th or so. And Jupiter across the way is in the fifth house of money luck, but also in the fifth house of your children. And so maybe some of what's going on here will be some exciting news stories coming through about your children during Mercury's transit through to November 10th up here in your 11th house that are quite exciting or unexpected. I said this for many Capricorns, if you want grandchildren or don't, I don't know. This is a whole Jupiter, Venus time, Venus in the ninth, grandchildren, Jupiter in the fifth, and the surprising news that's fit to print, disclosures, unexpected news that you're going to be a grandparent, maybe emerging between October 22 and November 9th. If this was my sky, I'd be looking at finding the lottery ticket under the bed that you lost, because Jupiter retrograde would say there's a potential for some windfall here and some exciting surprises financially, but maybe from the past, where have you had some kind of past gaming potential win and now it's going to pay off. Venus, sun rules your stock markets and eighth house matters and is in the stellium up there with Mercury. And so if stock you bought way back in the past rebounds out of the blue, or a crypto rebounds out of the blue, because Uranus is crypto. So look to November 4th, maybe for a surge of a crypto investment that was dead in the water, suddenly coming to life. That would be a good example of this kind of sky for some of you. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. I am so one of you. And what we've got going in the sky here is we have the movement of the sky of Mercury every year through your 10th house. You have new ideas, you're communicating, negotiating, speaking in public, sharing your understanding of what's true with the world, true, Scorpio. Now, this is an important transit for you because Mars is angular and he's at the top of the sky squaring, your identity and everything else. So he basically, and he's going to rebirth here. Let's put it this way. You're going to want to watch my Mars Cazimi video, so like and subscribe, because it's going to rebirth your entire career. Death of one career, a rebirth of another coming for you. And you've been feeling it anyway with the South Node transit for Scorpio anyway. You know it's about to change. So, and this is abundance and opportunity and solar light. Now you have to watch it here because Mars opposite Jupiter can be kind of like overstating your position, and especially with Mercury. And you may put yourself out there if you're an Aquarius with your boss, in the community of your workplace, online if you're me, and say something that is bold and confident and disclosure oriented, but may get you in a little hot water. So be careful. That's especially true October 27th to the 31st. November 4th is a surprise element. Mercury opposite Uranus, some surprising news to do with your home environment, with prosperity in the home, to do with real estate matters, especially to do with loans, banks, and real estate or inheritance monies. Some Aquariuses are looking at the possibility of resources or money coming through the energy of bequeathments. And yet, there's something good going on. Jupiter retrograde means you knew about it. It's in the past. Maybe old Uncle Joe had stashed some money under his mattress just for you. And now you're going to hear about that money coming to you, or some revealing of that money coming to you, or that it will be coming to you, or something like that November the 4th. But also exciting developments around to do with property and real estate as well. Around November 4th. You're not expecting it. It's unexpected. It's Uranus. But you can be extremely abundant, extremely prosperous, extremely grateful for this Cazimi reset in your 10th house, especially if your marketplace and audience connects to the planet asteroid America, and you're somehow the word America has any meaning to you. I would also tell you in this particular sky that there can be secrets disclosed in the workplace from bosses or superiors, sun, that are going to benefit you in the long run. Some of the benefits of the sky are not really seen until January. We need Mars to be visible for one, and Jupiter to be moving direct. But there's a house of foreign shores that Mars will rise and exalt in January. Wait till you get to that video. It's going to be the Kazemi video with the exaltation rise video. It's going to be 2 hours long, coming up early November. It's going to be my grand masterpiece. I can't wait to teach that. It's like a course, really. And so you're going to find that things to do with foreigners, foreign lands, foreign shores, revenue from foreign shores, residence changes to foreign shores, very possible for some Aquarians as a result of the sky this week, beginning the seeds of planting those possibilities that will be revealed to you January and beyond. And with Lord Saturn trying to stabilize our money and give us long game strategies for our earnings, not short game, but long game strategies, right? I'm doing that now. Aquarius rising me, not seeing many clients next year, raising my prices and moving into more ad revenue and other means of earnings. There's a strategy in my life right now to change the way I make the money I make. And I love my clients and I've been seeing them for 5 years, but I literally have a wait list now of my regular clients at 600 and the general public at over 1,000. And I don't have enough space anymore in my life, time-wise, to do those people who want to see me. So I have to recalibrate. So a lot of Aquariuses are recalibrating a strategy for their career and earnings over the next couple of years. And you'll see what I mean. Moving on. Best and always best, most amazing and always amazing are the Pisces sun, moon, and rising sign folk. You guys are having this transit of Mercury, October 22nd, November 10th, through the 9th house of foreign shores, foreign lands, foreign travel, legal matters in courts, academics, third marriages, abundance, prosperity, opportunity through solar figures, usually men, and also connected. Mars is the ruler of your 11th house of elder sibling or friends who are allies and benefactors. All that is very hot in the sky for you right now. My Pisces rising sister, for example, I'm her ally and benefactor. I'm the elder sibling. There's a possibility I will benefit her. So for example, so there's a feeling that what's going on here with this Mercury transit is Mercury's concocting plans, strategies, and ideas. Strategy because Mars is Scorpio and stealthy. That around the 27th to the 30th of October, you're going to get a handle on this. You're going to go, oh my God, this is what this is about. So is that trip being booked? Is that court case being docketed? Is a lawyer being hired? Is a book publishing contract being negotiated? Are you targeting a publisher, book publishing 9th house? These are also, are you planning the podcast publication and getting everything in a row? These are possibilities. Now, also, you've got that Jupiter across the way in the 3rd house, but still retrograde till the end of this year. And that can mean that there's hidden opportunity from your past or opportunity from the past emerging for journeys, travel, trips, or sibling stories, younger siblings. There's a surprise element too. You might feel like a little jolt around November 4th. It will probably feel delightful actually, because you do have Jupiter here in the 3rd house. A surprising jolt of email, phone call, text from a sibling or ally, benefactor type person that will incite you to travel is what I'm seeing. Or to sign up for a course or to teach a course. Those are learning axes, 9 and 3. Now, with the heliacal rise of Mars in your 11th house in January, there's a lot of goodness coming. Your prosperity, your money luck, your great windfalls, pennies from heaven, but gator grains from your career path are amplified, beginning to wake the hell up starting in January, add a couple of years. So you want to know more about how that works out by listening to that video I'm putting out early October. But I want you to think about this week, with Mercury's transit through Scorpio with abundance and abundantia here, that between the 27th and 31st of October, and then November 4th, all of this stuff that's happening now really begins to roll out after January and rolls out as financial gain for one thing, most certainly that. Because the truth is told when Mercury is in Scorpio and Mars especially uncovers the rock, you may also be looking at the deeper truths, the meaning of life, God, truth, wisdom, knowledge that comes from the 9th house, your spiritual philosophy. Yet there could also be here a cutting away from some belief and an ending where you no longer want to go to the Catholic Church because you discovered Sufism, or something's changing about the meaning of life and the spiritual faith to which you cleave. So if you've always had a spiritual philosophy, especially with the Cazimi here, you may be dramatically changing your perception of reality as it applies to spiritual wellness, spiritual knowledge and understanding in this time frame, you know, between October 22nd and November 9th, and then unfolding over even more so the 2 years that follow. All right, so thanks for listening to my Pisces people out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out my 2024 All Signs video bundle. It's 35% off. It's basically $49. You'll never get that price again. It never goes public. So you get it now, and you'll order it, and I deliver it to you by email, the access point, and you can share with friends and family. And there'll be 75-minute videos times 12. With a PDF booklet that I'm creating for the sky, so you can really track the sky in 2024. If that kind of thing interests you and you want to get the price that never comes back again, I suggest you order it. And check out Patreon for $5 a month, early access, ad-free content, meetings every month with me, all kinds of stuff going on there, in Zoom, etc. So I've got a couple hundred people in my Patreon community, and I love that group. And we have like intimate conversations on Zoom 1, 2, or 3 times a month, depending on your tier. So check it out as well. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, do so. And certainly just hit the like button. That alone is so helpful to my channel. I appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful Halloween.